Ancient Greece is where the Olympic Games began, all the way back in history to 776 BC, where all wars stopped just for this one event. The first athletic event ever documented was a foot race of approximately 200 yards. Then by the 14th Olympics, they created another foot race twice as long. Later on, by the 20th Olympics, many other athletic events, have been added onto the Olympic circuit. I am Danielle Aladon, and with my research and years of experience with this certain sport, let's talk about cheerleading. I know it might sound funny at first, but there's so much more to cheer than most people think. This topic is in debate because cheerleading is trying to get into the Olympic circuit. The Olympic Committee should accept cheerleading as a sport due to the amount of athleticism a cheerleader must have. Society has changed the face of cheerleading to the world. When you look up cheerleader on Google Images, you see NFL cheerleaders or cheerleading Halloween costumes, which is not the accurate face of cheerleading. The face you should see is an athlete who can pump up a crowd through their talent and enthusiasm. Though some stereotypes have been made throughout the years, cheerleading has evolved so much more. The International Cheer Union wrote a brief essay, The History of the Sport Cheer, which is a great way to get a summary about the sport and how it came about. The ICU's essay wrote 11 topics about the sport, from how it started to what the future can hold. Let's start on November 2nd, 1898, where one student jumped out of his seat and got onto the field to lead the crowd and to pump them up so that their football team could win. This student's name is Johnny Campbell, and he's considered the first cheerleading athlete ever. Though cheerleading is a sport growing on its own, other types of cheerleading were being created. Performance cheer was introduced in 1930. K.T. Crawford created a different style of cheer with the same entertaining aspects. She mixed in military marching and high kicking style, known today as drill team. The National Cheerleading Association was created by the so-called father of modern-day cheer, Lawrence Herky Herkimer. He created a clinic for cheerleading education, and to this day, many schools and cheer programs go to NCAA clinics and summer camps to learn more about cheer and how to evolve their skills. The Universal Cheer Association, known as UCA, was launched in 1974 by a former NCAA vice president and instructor, Jeff Webb. With his idea of advancement of cheerleading athleticism, he started a whole new type of cheerleading by putting music into the routines and competing it on national television by 1982. Through the organization's developing, cheerleading has expanded globally to new countries. The United States was overwhelmed about how much popularity the sport has grown. They broke up the programs and scholastic teams so that competitions would not be overwhelming and become more organized. By the early 2000s, U.S. created the Cheerleading Worlds, for all national champions would know who would be the best in the whole world. With all the popularity with the sport being known globally, the ICU wanted to seek international sports recognition. Within the years 2009 through 2010, the ICU submitted 2 applications, one to the Sport Accord, who is the Union for International Sports, and the other application to the International Olympic Committee, known as the IOC. In 2013, the ICU was accepted as a member by the Sport Accord. And just 2 years ago, the ICU was provisionally recognized by the IOC. As you can see, cheerleading has evolved so much throughout the time. In conclusion, from Johnny Campbell leading a crowd to Lawrence Herkimer creating cheer education clinics, and the current ICU president, Jeff Webb, trying his best to get cheerleading to compete in the Olympics. Cheerleading itself should be acknowledged and valued as a competitive sport, just like gymnastics, swimming, and track. Competitive cheerleading has similar vigorous training and conditioning to be able to perform and compete, just like all the other sports. Therefore, cheerleading is an Olympic sport. Thank you.